Okay, let's get right into it. Every year, thousands of people from Nepal come to France, hoping for a better life. And for many, it's a genuine, desperate search for safety. But there's a growing problem that's putting this entire lifeline at risk: the abuse of the asylum system. We're going to break down how this system, meant for the truly persecuted, is being twisted into an illegal shortcut and unpack the devastating consequences for absolutely everyone involved. So, first things first, we have to be crystal clear on the difference here. On one side, you have genuine asylum. This is a form of humanitarian protection run by a French office called OFPRA for people whose lives are literally in danger. But on the other side, you have something else entirely: fraudulent asylum. And that's just a calculated scam, using made-up stories and fake documents just to get a residence permit. One is a last resort, the other is a flat-out crime.
So how is this even happening? Well, this isn't just a few individuals telling a couple of lies. No, this has morphed into an organized business, a whole network designed to prey on vulnerable people while deceiving the French authorities. Let's pull back the curtain and see how this scam actually works.
Now check this out. The fake stories have become almost like scripts from a playbook. Traffickers coach people on one of four main narratives. For example, they'll pick Nepalese people with Mongol-like features, give them a crash course in Tibetan culture, and tell them to pose as Tibetan refugees. Others are coached to invent these dramatic stories of caste discrimination, or, for single women, totally fabricated stories of domestic violence. And get this, lately the stories have even been updated from the old Maoist conflict to fake persecution for being part of some Gen Z political movement. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. We are talking about intensive training, where people learn exactly what to say, how to cry on cue, the whole performance. The traffickers even provide the props, a complete package of forged documents, things like fake divorce papers, fake police reports, even fake news clippings, all designed to make the stories seem real to French officials. So what's the big deal? What's the real cost of all this deception? Well, the damage goes way beyond the paperwork. It creates this toxic ripple effect with consequences that harm individuals, the entire community, and the very system that was built to protect people. Let's talk money, because the price tag here is just staggering. People are paying these traffickers anywhere from 1.4 to 1.8 million Nepalese rupees for one of these scam packages. They're sold a dream of an easy path, but what they're really doing is paying a fortune to become a pawn in a criminal enterprise.
And let's just call it what it is. When traffickers are smuggling people from places like Croatia or Romania into France under false promises, only to force them to claim asylum, that isn't immigration. It is a modern, ugly form of human trafficking, period.
And that damage just keeps spreading. This flood of fake applications means that genuine Nepalese asylum seekers, they now face a much lower chance of being approved. The whole system gets clogged up, creating huge delays for real refugees from all over the world. And, maybe worst of all, it poisons the reputation of the entire Nepalese community, who get unfairly branded as asylum scammers.
But here's the thing. This isn't a hopeless situation. Not at all. There are clear, safe, and powerful ways to fight back against this fraud and help protect the system. So let's walk through the actual steps you can take.
Now, the biggest fear is always, what if they find out it was me? But you need to know this. Both French and European Union law give full protection to informants. You can report everything you know 100% anonymously. Your identity will be kept completely secret.
The process itself is surprisingly straightforward. It really just boils down to 3 simple steps. First, gather whatever proof you can find. Second, figure out the right agency to send it to. And third, submit your tip through one of the confidential channels. That's it.
So what kind of evidence actually helps? Anything that exposes the lie. The person's real name compared to the one they're using in France. Any photos you might have of their fake documents. And social media is an absolute goldmine. Think about it. Screenshots of someone posting photos from a happy family vacation in Nepal, the very country they claim they can never return to. It's powerful stuff. And of course, any details you have on the agents themselves are crucial. And where do you send all this information? Well, if you're in France, you can go directly to OFPRA, the local prefecture, or the police. And since this is an international network, you can also report it back in Nepal, to the Home Ministry, the Foreign Ministry, or you can let the Nepalese embassy in Paris know.
You know, at the end of the day, stopping this kind of abuse isn't just a job for the authorities. It takes a shared sense of responsibility. It's about everyone understanding the deep damage this causes and choosing, together, to find an honest path forward.
And when you lay it out side by side like this, the choice becomes incredibly clear, doesn't it? The fraudulent shortcut is just loaded with risk. It actively harms real refugees, and it trashes the community's name. The legal path, through things like student or work visas, that's the only route that's safe, honest, and protects everyone's dignity.
And this is the fundamental truth that we just can't lose sight of. The asylum system was created to be a sacred lifeline for people who are facing mortal danger. It was never, ever intended to be a business opportunity or some kind of backdoor for economic migration. Protecting it means protecting that core humanitarian mission.
So I'll leave you with this one question to really think about. When a so-called shortcut means you're tripping up people who are literally running for their lives, poisoning your own community's reputation, and just becoming another cog in a criminal machine, is that shortcut really worth taking?